Welcome everybody. Today what I want to talk about and really show you how to do is how to stop postponing or putting off your joy and the joy that you should have in your life. How you can rekindle wonder in your life and how you can do it even when life is chaotic as a parent, or maybe you're an entrepreneur running a business, or maybe you're just showing up every day to work and grinding away. Like, I want to show you how you can find that joy and really rekindle wonder in those scenarios. Cool? Like, joy, like, it's something that doesn't get enough airtime out there. Like, we don't focus on it so much because of our busy lives. You know, specifically the kind of joy that you're not waiting for, like the kind that doesn't depend on like your life to get easier or calmer or perfectly lined up so that I can go and experience joy and fulfillment in more ways, right? Like, I'm talking about the choosing that joy and that fulfillment before your circumstances change in any way. Because if you're anything like me, or the parents or entrepreneurs or the employees that I've worked with, like, you've probably fallen into that sort of a trap before. You know, the one where, like, gosh, I'll feel better once the kids are a little older, you know, or I'll enjoy things more when my business is a little more, you know, we're finally stable. Like, you know, I'll finally be able to breathe when my job calms down just a little bit. Like, I've been there. And look, I totally get it. You know, here's the truth though, that the day that you're waiting for, that time frame, the one where everything slows down and the stress disappears and suddenly you've got time to live more joyous, find wonder, and have more fulfillment, that day rarely is ever going to show up on its own. And if you keep postponing it, it's just going to keep, like, we keep telling ourselves, like, we'll feel alive and we'll improve when that happens. We actually miss out on the beauty that's right now and the things that are around us. And so we want to dive deep into that. Now, my name is Jake Talbert. I'm the founder. I'm the author of this book here. It's called The GIVER Method. It is an Amazon bestseller, tons of 5-star reviews. It's been out since November, and already it's been helping thousands of people to make drastic changes in their life, to find joy, to start living a more fulfilled life, to discover their gifts and superpowers, and to create more value for the people in their life. Like, there's all sorts of things that it's doing. So I highly recommend that you go to Amazon, get it. It's the best $10 you can invest in yourself, and get it before the prices go up. I'll put a link in the description so you can go get access to it. Like I said, it's one of the best things that you could do to invest in yourself. So we'll cover more about that stuff later. But you know, in this video, I want you to walk away with these 7 different, you know, kind of real and practical and honest ways to rekindle joy, even like in the middle of stress that you may be experiencing, or if you're in survival mode, or if you feel that kind of that sameness that's in the air. You know, we're talking about how you can build delight into your days, and how your gifts, you know, your superpowers are connected to joy, and how wonder might be the fuel of what you're actually needing to get to that next level. It's not a reward that you're waiting for at the end of your to-do list. So now, if you're running on empty, if you're wondering why nothing feels like you anymore, like, then this is the right place for you. Now, if you're new here, please hit subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. You know, don't want you to miss out on any of the content we create around these sort of topics. I'll also put down the description links to find us on all the other social platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, or the link to thegivermethod.com, where you can get some of our free resources, check out the ways we help people, things like that. Cool? So let's dive in. Let's start going through these different things that are all around this idea of rekindling that joy. So the first one is this like joy contingency trap that I was kind of mentioning a moment ago. Like, something that sneaks in really quietly, but it has a really loud impact on you, is this idea, you know, I call it the joy contingency trap. Like, it's that little voice in your head that's like, I'll feel better when the kids are older, or once my business hits that 6 figures or 7 figures, then I'll relax. Like, you know, I'll be happier when this job is calmed down, or when I get that promotion. Like, does that sound familiar? You know, it's the idea that joy's waiting for you on the other side of something that's just sitting there, like a milestone, that promotion, the calmer season. But here's the thing, the perfect moment for that, like, that you're waiting for, it rarely shows up, even if it does. And if it does, our brain moves like the goalpost even further out. We adapt and we start to reset, and we're just chasing whatever that next thing is. We don't find the joy in that moment. I've seen parents who believe that they'll, you know, enjoy family life, you know, once the tantrums stop, or once the potty training's over, or entrepreneurs who think that the joy shows up after that next product launch. You know, employees who are holding out, you know, for that next raise or that title before they let themselves breathe a little bit. But what if joy, like, it's not meant to be postponed? What if it's not a reward for getting everything right, but it's something that you just access right here, right now, in the middle of the mess that you're already in? And so you can start shifting the way you look at that by paying attention to, like, the stories that you tell yourself. Like, I'll be happy when. Like, if you ever have those types of thoughts, when when you catch like one pause, like, in asking yourself, like, is there something good that I can notice right now? Even if it's small, like, is it the warm drink? Is it a quiet moment? Is it my kids laughing? Like, whatever that thing is, the fact that you're like just still showing up in that moment. I love this, like, what's the joy without reason? Just one day a week, give yourself permission to feel good without checking anything off of a list. Like, don't wait for a reason. Don't wait for any sort of a finish line. Just joy because you're alive and breathing. Like, parents, laugh the hell out of things with your kids over something that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, entrepreneurs, stop for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and just appreciate like what you've already built and how awesome that is. Or like, if you're an employee, like, find one part of your day that genuinely you enjoy and let yourself enjoy it, like, without any sort of guilt. Like, it matters so much, because if you're waiting for joy to show up in life, when life starts to get easier, like, we never let ourselves fully live. Choosing that joy now in the moment, noticing when you find those moments, like, where you're saying, like, okay, it'll happen when. It's like, pause and just find the joy in what's happening in that moment. It builds like presence, it builds your resilience, it builds you deeper connections with people around you. So go ahead and just drop any conditions and let joy walk into your life a little bit earlier. Now, the second thing is this idea of, like, sensory anchoring, like, or like how you interpret overwhelm and tap into maybe that joy for 30 seconds or less. Something that we rarely give credit to is our senses that we have going on, that are just programmed and a part of us all the time. When life feels loud, when the to-do list don't quit, when your brain is really spinning 100 miles, like 100 miles an hour, like, your senses can start to bring you back. And I've been in all those scenarios. I felt the spinning, and the, like, my brain just won't stop running. Like, I've been there. Like, your senses, they're designed to bring you back to center. They're not just survival tools, but they're built in like a reset button, and a way to anchor it to, like, the here and now, and a way that you can find small, like, hits of joy even in the middle of all the chaos. Like, you use your senses as a part of this. But here's the problem: most of us spend our days in our heads. We're planning, we're worrying, we're fixing, we're checking. We barely notice, like, what we're seeing, what we're hearing, what we're tasting, what we're touching, like, what is happening around us. Like, we scroll while we're eating, we answer emails while we're sipping coffee, we drive the same route hundreds of times and don't remember a single thing that passed. I remember when we drove by and I was like, oh, they moved the Wendy's. And my wife was like, yeah, they did that like 4 years ago. I drive by that same Wendy's every day for the last decade, and apparently I didn't realize that they'd done it 4 years ago. So that's where this idea of, like, sensory anchoring comes in. It's a practice where you're using all 5 senses and you try to use them deliberately to reconnect with presence and wonder and joy. Like, no overthinking, no effort, like over efforting, whatever that is. Like, you just you and being real with the world and in that moment. And so what you do is you start building, like, what's your sensory kit? What's your sensory joy kit, if anything? Like, that the collection of the things that light up your senses and shift your mood. It's like your emergency stash of delight. Like, is it a playlist of songs that make you feel good? Is it like an essential oil, that you love? That's that lavender or citrus or peppermint that brings you ease or energy. Is it a small stone or object that just feels grounding when you're holding it? Like, is it your favorite tea or your snack? And, like, is it a photo? Is it an image? Like, whatever it is that makes you pause and breathe deeper. Like, keep it nearby, keep it in your car, at your desk, in your kitchen drawer. Like the key is, like, you don't just experience these things passively, but, like, be fully there and present. When you sip tea, like, taste it, actually taste it. When you hear that song, listen closely, listen for the things maybe you haven't noticed before. You don't just have it on in the background. Like, when you light a candle or hold an object, like, feel it, pay attention to it, what's happening there. Now here's a challenge. Like, set maybe 3 alarms to go off on your phone throughout the day, and when they go off, pause, take 30 seconds and just pick one sense and give that sense your full focus. Notice, like, the texture of your chair, or the feeling in the air, the smell of the room, light on the wall. Like, it doesn't matter, just notice something. Like, what matters is that you're noticing something at all. And it's amazing when you start to find what senses are there and you start to hone in on it, how much more things you notice, how much more you hear, you smell, you see, you feel as a part of that. Now, this practice, like, it is absolutely ridiculously doable, even for a parent who barely have time to sit down, or for the entrepreneur who's neck deep in strategy, or the employee who feels stuck in the fluorescent lights all day. Like, listen, look, whatever's happening around you. Like, parents, maybe it's during those routine moments, like, feel your child's hand, hold them. Savor the morning toast, smell the shampoo at bath time. Like, these aren't chores, like, they're just these are potential portals that could connect you to joy. Like, if you're paying attention. I find that some of my most stressful days, or days where I feel like I'm running, like, the second I walk in the door and, like, my boys are there, it's like there's a shift in the energy that I have, because it's just, you start noticing these things so much more. For an entrepreneur, like, use this idea between work blocks. Like, just, if you just finish a strategy call, like, don't rush into the next task. Like, take 60 seconds, open the window, stretch, sip something slowly, reset your nervous system before you go back and dive in. I've got a walking pad here, I've got a rolling foam thing back here. Like, do something that gives you movement and stretch, or listen, or calm. A number of times I come back here and sit in my chair and just, like, be in the moment while I'm desensitizing from whatever that thing is. If you're an employee, like, transform your space just a little, add some texture to the desk, maybe a scent that calms you. Maybe there's a visual that breaks the monotony of the gray cubicle that you have. Like, joy doesn't need a raise, it doesn't need a promotion, it just needs a little bit. It's a better pen. It's the plant that makes you smile. Like, shocking. Like, I pay for certain pens because of how they feel, and what, I sit there and I'm like, it feels awesome, it writes great. And it's those little things that you just find joy in, because when your brain is fried and your schedule's packed and you don't need any more tasks, like, you look for relief, and sensory anchoring gives you that, like, and it gives it to you fast and grounded and real. It brings back to your body, your breath, your life. Like, and here's the really wild part, is it doesn't require a single thing to change that you're already doing. You don't have to quit your job, or leave your house. You don't have to change circumstances. Just pay the freak attention to what's going on around you. Okay, now that the third thing is this, I call it the wonder question. Like, what's the wonder question? It's a technique that you can do, because one of the simplest but most powerful ways I've found experiencing joy, before life gets easier, like down the road, is just, you got to ask better questions. Here's the deal: your brain is built to scan for problems, for threats. It's not a personal flaw, it's just part of how we're wired for survival. And you've probably felt it. You wake up, your mind immediately goes to, like, what's wrong? What's late? What's missing? Like, what still needs to get done? I'm getting ready to take my family on a trip. And, like, I've been thinking that all week. And I'm like, yeah, I still have 5 days till I go. And I'm still having those moments of that. Like, what's falling apart if I don't, fix it today? Like, it's no wonder, as we get caught up in these moments, that, like, we miss the magic that's just sitting right in front of us. If we just shifted the question, like, what if instead of, like, always asking what's broken, if you're like, well, what's beautiful here that I haven't noticed? What's something that's different? What's changed? What's that one thing that maybe I haven't paid attention to? That's that wonder question technique. It's a simple practice that invites you to just change your lens, not by ignoring challenges, but by zooming out, like, just enough to notice something good that's already hiding in plain sight. Now, you could do this multiple ways throughout your day. Pick maybe 2 or 3 wonder questions and that really speak to you. Write them down, stick them in, on the fridge, put them on your phone lock screen, drop, calendar thing every morning that's like, hey, what's remarkable about this ordinary moment? Like, what would a child find fascinating about this right now? What beauty am I overlooking because I'm in a hurry? What's here that I've never noticed before? And then that's where you can really start to get fun. You don't need extra time for this. Like, just pause and drop one of these questions in a transition moment. Before your next meeting, while you're brushing your teeth, you're standing in line, you're walking out of your house, like, just find whatever that thing is for you. Now, here's a pro tip: make it social. Ask your kids wonder questions while you're driving to school. Start your next team meeting by asking, like, what's something small you appreciated about this morning? Or ask your partner, like, what's the most beautiful thing that you noticed today? Like, these aren't just feel-good moments. This is brain training that you're doing. When you ask different questions, your brain builds new pathways and you begin to rewire from a default like problem solver mode to the meaning seeker mode, from a tunnel vision to full color, and go out of autopilot to actually feeling alive and in the moment. Now that leads us to the fourth step or principle, which I call the giving joy connection. One of the most overlooked but powerful ways to reconnect with joy is giving with your gifts and superpowers. The G in GIVER here, because GIVER is an acronym, is gift, which is all around your gifts and your superpowers, okay? That's specifically designed for this, because when you show up for others, and you do it with your actual strengths, those gifts, those superpowers, just the natural things that come to you, something incredible happens. You don't just help people, but you light yourself up in the process. Now, I'm not talking about random acts of kindness in any way. Those have their place, and I appreciate when people do them. Though they're, like I said, they're good. But I'm talking about the specific joy that comes from using the things that you're uniquely good at to serve someone else. Not only uniquely good, but you're the only person who has your level of history, experiences, struggles, wins, all those types of things built up into one as a part of who you are. And then you power that with your gifts and your superpowers. And my gosh, there's so much more that you could do. Maybe it's your ability to organize chaos, or your weird calming presence that you have without, preventing people from spinning out in any sort of way. Maybe it's your quick wit, or the way you explain things to make them simple or help people to breathe in the moment. The best part is this isn't woo-woo or just feel-good stuff. There's true research that when you give of your natural gifts, your brain rewards you with dopamine and serotonin and endorphins, which are the feel-goods in your brain. All good chemicals flood your system. It's what psychologists they call it the helper's high. It's one of the fastest ways to get out of your own head and into a state of just truly energized joy. So start by identifying maybe the few things that feel like they've just come naturally to you. Even if you set them aside for a while. Maybe it's listening, it's teaching, it's making things beautiful, problem solving, encouraging, whatever it is. Think about what people have thanked you for, or what loved one, what you loved doing when you were a kid that the world told you hey, well, you got to be serious now, you can't do that. And then this is the key part to it. Just find the small, low pressure things that you could do to start peppering those into your daily life. And once again, if you need more help, gosh, go get the book. It's going to walk you through all the exercises and everything. There's worksheets and all sorts of stuff. Now, you could also, I'll put down in the description a free resource, the Giver's Roadmap, that could also help you to start unpacking some of that type of stuff for you. Because things if you think empathy is your thing, well, don't wait for the perfect moment to have a deep talk. Just slow down and ask someone how they're really doing, and then listen. If creativity lights you up, bring it into normal routine. Doodle while you help your kids with their homework. Add a visual touch to your next presentation, whatever that thing may look like. This isn't about adding anything more to your to-do list. It's just about bringing more of you to what you're already doing. And you can do that in so many different ways. You don't need a title change to start showing up, start showing your gifts in that sort of a way. You just need intention. Because when you give from who you actually are rather than who you're trying to be or you think you should be, things start to shift for you. Stop feeling like responsibilities are draining the life out of you. Start feeling like you're bringing life into them. This is one of the most renewable sources of joy that you can be found out there. And the best part is that you don't have to wait in life for that to bubble up. You can start to attack it and do things with it right now. Now that's going to start to spin us into the fifth principle, step, strategy, or whatever it is. It's this elevation practice that I want you to think about. There's a sneaky lie that many of us, especially if you consider yourself a high performer, high capacity, busy, person, we quietly believe this thing that the joy, only comes from a big, impressive moment, the vacation, the launch, the holiday, the milestone. But what if that's actually backwards? What if joy isn't hiding in the big stuff? Sure, it can be there, but quietly it's been waiting in the middle of the everyday routines that you have. That's what this practice is all about. I call it the how do we elevate the ordinary? The ability to take something you're doing every single day, probably on autopilot, and then just approach it like it matters, like it's new, like it's something that you have to offer today that you've never noticed before. Because the truth is, most of us are missing probably 95% of the beauty that is happening in our lives, not because it's not there, but because we just stop seeing it. Our brain adapts too fast. Like what once felt fresh or even magical becomes like a background noise, when we were doing it every single day. Morning coffee, the car ride to work, that moment when your child laughs at your joke. Like you may not even realize like those are like amazing, delight-worthy moments anymore. You may even not even see it because the routine has dulled your ability to notice it. So how do you bring that joy back to being more familiar and practice seeing it again? Start by just picking one ordinary activity that you're already doing every day. Washing dishes, your commute, the daily email check, brushing your kid's hair. Nothing fancy, just something that's routine that you usually just zone out while you're doing it. And then for the next week, treat that activity like it is a brand new experience. And when you're doing it, really show up, engage all your senses. Ask yourself, like, what do I hear right now? What do I see that maybe I've been overlooking? What do I feel, smell, taste, appreciate? How can I show more love in this moment? And then, gosh, just shake it up a little. Change the order in which you do things. Add a new element. If you drive to work the same way, like try a different route or a different playlist that you're going to listen to. If it's, team check-in, start with a question that sparks energy or insight. If it's child's bedtime, like try reading the story with voices or let them pick the new one that you've never read together. And then like after it's all said and done, just reflect on what was different. Did you notice like the warmth of the water, in the cup in your hands? Like, did you hear the laugh that you made as you laughed at that joke? Did you notice how somebody smiled differently? Did something ordinary feel a little more alive? And here's really the bonus move, like whatever it is, say it out loud. When you name and actually put it out there what you notice, you not only reinforce it to yourself, but you're inviting people around you into that moment as well. Like say to your kid, like, hey, I just noticed that your hair smells like shampoo and sunshine, whatever. Like, or to a coworker, it's like, hey, I never realized how much easier this project feels when we just start laughing together. That verbal acknowledgement, like that's how you build shared delight. Because if you're only letting yourself feel joy when something big happens, you're skipping past all these things. It's kind of like the idea of like, did you step over 6 quarters to pick up a dollar bill? Well, let's go pick up all 6 quarters and we'll be happy when we get to the dollar bill as well. But don't miss out on the quarters. Don't miss out on the small little things that happen throughout your life. You're unintentionally teaching yourself to wait, but when you learn to elevate the ordinary and you start to see wonder in all the familiarness around you, you reclaim thousands of moments that are already yours, just waiting to be noticed. Now, our 6th one is about, once again, like, okay, well, we start creating these things. How do we collect the details about it? Like, what's our delight collection? Most of us forget like how to do this as we get older and older. Like, notice the little stuff that's actually good. You know how kids light up over like the funny shaped cloud, or get excited about finding the rock that sparkles? Like that kind of joy, like that's a natural ability to see what's good and interesting and delightful. It disappears in us like when we're adults. Like, people think it's like it's gone. It's like, well, no, it's not gone completely. It's just buried. It's under all those weird to-do lists and emails and dinner plans and deadlines, that you're trying to make for the weekend. The truth is, the joy, it doesn't always show up in those big moments. Like, it's the whispers. Like, if your brain constantly focuses on what's next, what's urgent, what's not working, it literally won't see delightful things around it, even if it's right in front of you. So the delight collection system is about like retaining your attention to notice what's already there, because joy isn't rare. It's just filtered out like through this autopilot that we get ourselves into. So this sort of a practice helps you to flip the switch back on and start noticing it. So start by picking just a simple way to record moments that bring even a flicker of delight. It could be a note on your phone, a photo folder. It could be a jar with scrap piece of paper, physical notebook, like that you toss in a bag. Like, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just, it needs to be easy that you can do this. And then set the bar low. Let me find 3 moments of joy, of delight throughout my day. That's it. 3 things, simple things. Does not have to be earth-shattering. It doesn't have to be Instagram highlight worthy. Like, just 3 things that made you pause and smile. Like a moment of quiet, a kid's mispronounced word, the song that you haven't heard in days, the way the afternoon light up your kitchen floor. Like, I mean, the other night I was at the store with my wife. We were walking around, and it was like they were playing the soundtrack to my life. I mean, it was just song after song that I'm like, I have to sing to, I have to dance to. There I am walking through, looking at clothes, dancing and singing along to I'm Every Woman. Like, it's one of the most absolutely amazing things when you start to just notice the joy of those little things that are happening around you. And if you want to keep it consistent, link it to things that you're already doing. Like, what's the one delight I could do as a part of my coffee in the morning, or during lunch, or before bed? Like, or maybe it's you set some phone alarms that pop up, with messages like what's delightful right now? What's the reminder that you could look at that you're going to notice? And if you want to go further, once again, say it out loud, make it social. If you're a parent, ask your kids, like, hey, what made you smile today? Or ask them that before bed. Like, if you run a business, kick off team meetings with hey, what's something delightful that we've noticed? Just find the thing, like, what's the delight channel that we could start to put data in, like a Slack channel or whatever it is. Don't just collect them, go back and review them. Pick a moment each week to look back on, even if just for a moment. Scroll the notes, read what you wrote, flip through the photos. Like, you're not just like reminiscing in those things, you're actually rewiring your brain to believe that this day, this week, this life, man, it is already full of so many good things. We've been wired to pay attention to what's wrong. It's a survival thing. It's just how we are as human beings. But if we don't intentionally train ourselves to also notice the good, we start believing that joy is rare and that delight only lives on the vacations, the holidays, or the big wins, which isn't true. Joy is absolutely everywhere. And it's just often quiet and unseen because we're not finding those ways. Now, the delight collection helps you prove to yourself of the everyday things that are small and beautiful and energizing moments, that when you start to see them, you start to feel them more, you start to live them more, and that starts to create this fulfillment in you that you've never expected. Which leads us to the final principle, the final idea, which is this joy-fear integration. We don't always give ourselves permission to believe joy. Joy and fear actually live in the same room. Most of us grow up thinking that we either had, we just have to get through this thing, our stress, we have to solve the problem, we have to calm everything down before we can allow it to feel good. We pick up this subtle idea that joy is something we earn. But once everything's tidy, once it's under control, once it's fixed, the truth is you can change everything. Joy doesn't need perfect conditions to show up. And so this integration, finding the ways to integrate it more in your life, it's a practice of allowing delight and joy and difficulty to all exist in the same place side by side, not to cancel each other out, but to expand your emotional range so that life doesn't have to be like these all or nothing situations. This isn't about ignoring fear or forcing optimism in the moment. It's about learning to say, yeah, I'm carrying something heavy right now. I'm struggling with something, but there's light available here. And there's some joy and things that I can experience along the way. And this matters a lot for people like us, parents, entrepreneurs, the employee who's grinding through things. When you can create space for both of these things, joy and fear, we open ourselves to be more honest and resilient and have this kind of joy that can, actually go the distance, And so let's say you're a little overwhelmed, stomach knots, spinning thoughts, or you can't catch your breath, or you're overwhelmed. Instead of trying to just shove that feeling away, start by just pausing and noticing it, and gently, just place your hand on the part of the body where you're feeling that. It could be your chest, your throat, your belly, your head, and just say hey, I notice I'm feeling anxious right now. And that's okay. I'm not fixing, I'm not judging, I'm not renaming. It just is what it is. And then while you're staying with that feeling, look around and find other things in the current environment that bring maybe the silver lining, the beauty, the comfort, wonder back into it so that it resets things for you. Just take 10 seconds to really take it all in as a part of that. As we talk through everything we've covered today, as we look at these ideas, it isn't just a bunch of nice ideas about feeling better someday. It's about reclaiming your experience in life right now, not once things calm down, not once you hit the next goal, but today. You can do this today inside of the mess and the stress and the monotony that you potentially have in your life. We covered these different principles and strategies that invite you to just stop waiting and start noticing. They're all about small shifts, daily practices, those gentle pauses to remind you like joy isn't out there in the distance. It's right here in front of you in the middle of your life that you're already living. We're not pretending things are all easy or ignoring the real responsibilities that you're going to carry, that weight that you have. It's just about giving yourself permission to feel something good at the same time, to let joy be a part of the equation. It's hard for most people. Like, they miss that joy, like, because they like joy isn't they look at the reward for having the enduring through everything, and that's not what it is at all. It's the fuel that helps you endure with grace and creativity and connection. So if you've been waiting for more time, fewer responsibilities, circumstances, whatever it is, like, I want you to just rewind, like, remind yourself something that's simple but powerful. Like, you don't have to wait anymore. The door to joy isn't locked. It just takes a shift. You have to go walk through it. Pick one of the things that stood out today, just one. Don't overthink it, and try it for the week. See what changes for you. Like, not just your mood, your energy, your relationships, how you show up at work or to your family. Because here's what I know. Small joy, the little bits of finding the delight and the wonder, create big impact when it's consistent. It restores your spark. It reconnects you to what matters. And it makes it, even the hardest seasons feel more livable, a little more meaningful, and a whole lot more human as a part of it. Now, if this video, if it spoke to you, if this like resonated with you, then once again, please go grab your copy of the GIVER method. I poured everything I've learned about reconnecting with gifts, reclaiming energy, to make the kind of impact that doesn't leave you feeling depleted. Like this is going to leave you full, and you can find it, like I said, on Amazon or at thegivermethod.com. I've got all sorts of tools and newsletter and things that you can look at there. But I'll put the link, so you can go get yourself access to the book. I'd love to hear from you. Which of the things hit you the hardest today? Which one is going, how are you going to invite joy back in today? Drop it in the comments. If this helped you, once again, like it, subscribe, send it to someone you care about, especially if you've been stuck in this survival mode and you just need that little reminder of joy to still, we just need this little reminder of joy to calm all of us. And so with that, I'll just say, until next time, keep showing up. Keep choosing to notice the beauty and joy that's hiding in plain sight. Remember, joy isn't waiting at some end of the day, the week, the month, the end of the to-do list. It's already here right in front of you. You just have to go look for it. So with that, I'll say have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you in our next video.